It's interesting
more like
now
tripling
about
or quadrupling
crypto.
down
I don't consider
at this
crypto
point.
Bitcoin
Why do that
or Ethereum.
now?
Okay, yes, they were the
a year ago, we had a
assets.
$500 million
But
software business.
I'm considering
and $500
crypto
million
as the
in cash
12th
that was
sector of the S&P.
generating
It
0%
hasn't been
yield.
declared that yet, but I
Today
think
we
that's
have
where we're
a
going.
$500
And so
million
when you talk
software
about running a
business growing
mandate like I
10% a
do,
year and a
for
$5 billion
institutional clients or
Bitcoin
institutional
business that's been
mindset,
growing north
they
of
say to
100%
themselves,
a year.
okay,
So our
in a normal
strategy is
world
to
where I
acquire
understand
and
each
hold
of the 11 sectors of
Bitcoin.
the
We told the
S&P, I may
market we're going to
allocate
do it with
the
equity
largest I would
offerings, with
allocate would be 20%,
convertible
let's say,
debt,
to
with
technology. That's
senior debt,
generally
and
the
junk
max
bonds,
in
and
a
also
mandate.
with cash flows where
And maybe you
appropriate.
do 3% in
We
energy
saw
because
this
your
as a
ESG
great
concerns
opportunity.
are there and all the
We
rest of it.
sold
But you're
over the
dabbling in
past
all 11.
quarter about $400
I'm
million
now
worth
dabbling
of
in crypto
equity
as if
at a
it was the
price
12th.
that
So that
allowed
means
us to
I don't
buy
need
Bitcoin in a way that we
a
thought would be
mandate to do
accretive
that.
to all
I'm
of our
doing that
shareholders.
because I'm able to get
So
my
we try to
compliance department
choose
to
our
agree on
spots.
certain
But at the end of the
coins,
day,
tokens,
if you add another
assets.
10,000
But they have
Bitcoin
no
when the
interest in
price
just
goes
buying
to
Bitcoin.
100,000,
I get
right?
Bitcoin. That's
a lot of
one
money.
asset.
When it goes to $1
It's
million,
just like when you say,
it's a
I'm going to
lot
have 20% in
of
tech.
money.
There's a
And
thousand
our shareholders
companies
are long
to choose from to
Bitcoin.
build
There's
that
no one
position.
buying MicroStrategy
So
stock
for
that
me
doesn't believe
now,
Bitcoin's
to
going up.
actually get
So
into
if you've
crypto,
already
I
risked
need
your money to
multiple
buy MicroStrategy
positions
stock and
because I'm
Bitcoin goes up,
mandated
you'd
to have
rather us own more
diversification.
Bitcoin
So
rather
yeah, I
than
own
less
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin,
Yes,
so
I
you
have some
benefit
Ethereum, I
from
have
the
some
upside.
Litecoin, I have some USDC,
And yet there's
but
obviously a
much more
looming
coming.
regulatory
And I'm at
crackdown. Take a
3%
listen to
right
this
now,
from
waiting
SEC
in a
Chair
mandate.
Gary
That's
Gensler.
not a lot. I'm on my way to 7% by
Is it
year
your
end.
view
That's
that
a lot.
stable coins
And that's starting to
themselves
be
can be
where I
securities?
consider myself a participant
I
in this
think
market.
that,
But I'm
Senator,
having
they
to
may
do
well
it
be
different than maybe
securities.
To
you
me,
or Paul
a
or a
stable
lot of the
coin
guys that were
doesn't meet the
pioneers.
second prong
I
of the
don't have
Howey
the
test,
option to be a cowboy.
that there has to
I
be an
can't
expectation
do that.
of profits
I have
from
three
the
problems
investment.
on that front.
And so if
Number
it
one, I have to
doesn't
get my
meet the
internal
Howey
compliance
test,
officer
it
to
looks
agree.
to me
Number two, I
like
have
it's
to get
not a
my
security. Now,
external
maybe you've
auditor
got
to
a good
sign the
argument
audited
for why
statements
some
that
are
then
and
turn
some
into
aren't. My whole
reports to the
point
regulators
is,
in every
I
jurisdiction
think we
that
need to
I
have clarity
participate
on
in.
this.
I cannot afford to be offside for
Michael,
one
are you at all
second.
concerned that
So
regulators could
that's taken
regulate
a
the
lot of time.
exuberance that you were
ain't
talking about
easy.
earlier
And
out
that
of the
is where
market?
we sit. And I'd say to you,
I think
that's good and bad
that
news. It's
the
good
big
news
winner
that I've
of
been
that
able to do
entire
it. It
hearing
took
was
me almost half a
Bitcoin.
year.
The consensus
But
that's emerging
the
is that
upside is that there's
Bitcoin is a
trillions of
commodity and
dollars
Bitcoin is
of the people I
property.
service
And if your
that
use
want to do
case
the
is to
same
buy
thing. If we could just
Bitcoin
get
as a
the
long-term
regulator on
store of
side to tell us what the
value,
rules
then
are.
there's broad-based
It's like football.
consensus
You
and
can't play
support
football if
for
you don't know the
that
rules.
across
We need the
Congress,
rules.
the Senate,
Then you're
the
going to get
regulators, the
massive allocations to
administration,
crypto.
and industry
What is
here
7%
and
of
abroad.
numbers?
I don't say
I
because
think that
it goes
there's
across
a need
multiple
for
mandates.
clarity. I mean,
And,
there's consensus that people think
we have
the
rules about
innovations
disclosing
of cryptocurrency
dollars,
could be
because
beneficial for the
it's
next
not
100
always our
years. They're
money.
good for the industry. They're good for the
Are these
Western
people
world.
just
There's
kind of
also
aware that
consensus that we would
crypto
benefit from
thing and they know
clarity.
they should do it and
And
they
I
just
think
trust you
Senator
with your
Toomey was
money?
pointing
Because
out that
in my world, like
we
my
would
show
all
is
benefit
what
from
Bitcoin
clarity,
did.
but I think that the
95 to 98% of our content is
SEC would
Bitcoin.
probably agree
We
with them. And I
occasionally
think
discuss
that
other projects.
over
So I might
time we
discuss
can
Ethereum if I
expect
wanted
that
to
we'll
talk about
see more
stablecoins or
clarity
do the
with regard
comparisons.
to
But in my
all
world,
digital assets,
Bitcoin
and
is
I
very
expect
different
that
from
will
crypto. I
reduce
actually
the
consider them
volatility
two
in the
different
Bitcoin
things. All they
space.
share
It'll
is the
increase
fact that
public
they're both
confidence
blockchain
in
and
Bitcoin.
cryptography.
Yeah.
And it's
What
also
they
going to
are trying to
accelerate
achieve,
institutional
for me, are
adoption and
very,
retail
very
adoption of
different things. So
Bitcoin, because these are all
is there
good
just this
things for the
wider
industry.
What about
desire
Coinbase
for
versus
people to
the
invest in crypto, they
SEC?
don't
When
really
you
care what
see,
it is,
you know,
and
the
it's for
biggest
you to
crypto
decide the
platform
investment.
out
No,
there
when it
taking
comes to
on
crypto,
the
because of the
SEC,
compliance
you
and
know,
the
does that
regulations
raise
and where we're
concern
at, I don't
if
put
you're
other
just
people's money
considering
into
getting
crypto
into this
mandates.
market right
I'm
now?
very fortunate to have my
Well, I
own
mean,
operating
Coinbase
companies,
is
multiple
the
operating
largest
companies that I control in
publicly
case where this
listed
crypto is 100%
crypto
controlled.
exchange in the
So I
United
am
States.
but I have to be compliant anyways,
The
because
other crypto
when you
exchanges
have
are
a compliance
offshore.
department, it's
So
because you've been
I would say
able to
Coinbase is
grow
probably
business. I have
frustrated. They'd
multiple
like to see more
investments in financial
clarity
services companies,
coming
many
out
of
of
which are
government and
reported
regulators,
and regulated.
so they can figure
So
out what
I
they can
can't
do and they
be
can't do, and they like to see it
offside.
faster. And
It's
I think
because
that's
I'm a
really
shareholder
consistent with
in
the
these
entire
companies. And
industry
so-
view,
What
which
do you mean
is
by offside?
the industry
So,
will benefit
let me
from
give you an
more
example.
clarity.
Back in 2017,
I
when
think
took my first position.
I think the fact that Coinbase came
crypto.
public this year in the
The
United States was a
regulatory
good
environment
thing.
was nothing less
Coinbase
than
doesn't
toxic, all
it
right?
doesn't
At
offer the
that
same
time,
range of
regulators
products and
around the world were
services
sending out
that you can get
complaints
from
to all kinds
offshore
of people that were
crypto
trying to tokenize
exchanges.
all kinds of assets,
And
including one here in
and
New
I
York,
think
hotel.
that they would
was
like
a,
to compete in a crypto
a
industry,
poop
but there's
show
still murky
can
regulations
say
as to what's allowable, what's not allowable.
and you just
And if all the
can't
rules are clarified
get
for everyone
involved
and
in
everybody
that when
competes by the
you're-
same
you're-
rules, I think that'll
you're
alleviate some of
reporting
that
and being
frustration.
compliant in many other
Meantime,
jurisdictions.
Solana, a
And so
17-hour
at that
outage
point,
this
I was
week after
just,
having
you know, my
been on
own
a tear.
compliance department
You've
said,
got
you gotta stop talking
OpenSeas
about this stuff.
acknowledging
You gotta
that
stay
an
away from this
employee
stuff.
was
This is
trading
just an
NFTs on
environment that is
inside
brutal.
information. Do these
Over
events
time,
suggest that this
in particular
market,
the last
that this
24
technology
months,
isn't ready
you've
for
seen
prime time
Switzerland,
yet?
Germany, France, England,
Well,
Canada,
in the market, there are three
a jurisdiction
things.
that
There's the
cooperates
blue
with
chip
regulators
asset,
in the
the
US,
institutional
in
grade
Turbo
asset,
Harmony,
which is Bitcoin. And if you want
launched
to buy something and
ETFs
hold it
with
for
their
30
primary
years
asset
in lieu
being
of a
Ethereum and
bond or in
Bitcoin.
lieu of cash or
So
other forms of credit,
the tonality
then Bitcoin
of
is that commodity
that
store of
regulatory
value.
environment has
It's in a
changed
class all by
dramatically.
itself.
You're
Then
starting
you
to see the
have
regulator
unicorns.
talking
You
about,
have the
let's discuss these
Solanas and the
asset classes.
Binance
Let's get
Smart
into a
Chains and
dialogue
the
about it.
Ethereums, and they're like
And
the
as a result, I've been able
Airbnbs
to
and
be
the
more flexible about
Ubers
my
of
own
this
position
space,
come
and
out
their
disclosed just a few months
sparks,
ago
and
that I'd
there's a
taken
lot
on
of
3%
money,
position
and there's a
in
lot
our
of risk.
operating
And if you're
company of
SoftBank, maybe you would get into those kind of
Bitcoin and a
businesses, and we
few
don't know
others.
how those stories end.
But I agree with
And then
you
you've got the
on
smaller
the
crypto
thesis you have on
ventures,
Bitcoin,
right? Or the
because when I
6,000
talk to-
projects
I'll
out
give you an
there
example,
that
which is, I think, is very
are
intuitive what you said
looking
there.
for some future.
Let's say I'm
And I
talking
think
to a
they're all
sovereign
competing
fund,
in a world
all right?
where
Let's
there's
say,
some murkiness about
and they
what's
have
appropriate, what's
500
not.
billion. And they wanna
MicroStrategy
deploy,
obviously only invests in
into
Bitcoin.
crypto for the first time. They're
I
gonna
think if
put
you're
a
an
small
institutional
weight, 1%.
investor, the only
The reason
institutional
they
grade
haven't done it
asset,
yet
the only
is
investable
not because they're
asset you
having
can
a
invest in is
debate about whether they
Bitcoin,
want
just
to.
for the
They
reasons you
want to.
pointed out.
But they have
And I think
a compliance
that
department
that the
that
SEC is
includes
justified
an
in having an
ESG
interest in the
committee,
space for all
which
the reasons you point
determines
out.
which assets
And
get
to the extent that they
investment committee
clarify
first,
the
because
rules
every
of the
single
road,
asset
I think
is
it's going to make it
viewed with that
a
particular,
safer, more welcoming environment for retail
sovereign
investors
fund
and also for
by the
institutional
merits of
investors.
sustainability.
And the industry
so
will evolve and mature
just,
in that way.
at Bitcoin 2021,
Meantime, you have demonstrators in
there
El
was a huge
Salvador
debate going
burning a
on.
Bitcoin
Elon Musk was
ATM,
involved. I've made some
protesting
statements about
the
it 'cause I've
country's
learned from the pensions
adoption,
they
the
weren't
country's
gonna get
president
involved in it because it
pushing
was not ESG
the
compliant.
adoption
The
of
Chinese were burning
Bitcoin.
coal
What's your
to make
take on what this
electricity,
kind of
to mine
resistance
and get
mean
awarded coins.
in just one
That was a
country
nightmare.
and for the rest
so
of the world?
The reason Bitcoin
Well, I think first of all, the big news here is
still not
500,000 people in
an
El Salvador
institutional product is we have
downloaded
not got
a
around
Lightning
this
Bitcoin
issue
wallet, and they
of
received
sustainability.
$30 worth
It's
of
getting
Bitcoin,
addressed,
and
and I'll
that's
give
an
you an example.
extraordinary
This
world-shaking
is a
event,
shout out
never
to a
happened in the
company I'm a
history of the
shareholder
world.
in, Hut 8.
And it
all right?
indicates
Jamie
just how
Levitin.
rapidly
she's great.
Bitcoin
She is
and
great.
Lightning can spread.
I met her
I think
through a real
that
estate
there are
transaction,
sparks in
and,
El Salvador,
we
and there's
started having a
politics,
discussion
right? There's
like
an
you and I
opposition
are right
party
now,
in
but
the
it's true. She
country.
said, look,
There's
I'm ESG
opposition
compliant.
parties in
But what
every
I like
single
about her
state
company
of
is that
the
I can
union
buy
and
her
every
equity,
country in
which
the
I
world.
did at that time. I think
And so if the
69%
government takes one
in the
position, there's
mandate
going to be an
that's in,
opposition to
because
that
she
position,
claimed, and she
it's
was right,
natural
that she
to
is
see
in
that.
direct vol.
But
In
I
other
think
words, the
that the way
correlation
to think
between the price
about
of Bitcoin and
Bitcoin
her
is
stock prices
Bitcoin is the most
one-to-one.
disruptive
So
technology
she is
of the
keeping
decade.
everyone